Hello, gentles and ladymen. I'm Ulan Gaming, and today we're going to be doing another Civilization overview. I think I'm going to slow down on my overviews a little bit. I'm still going to work on them, but it's clear. It's been clear over the past several months that the devs are looking to implement changes to a lot of the older civilizations. So new civilizations like Malta in Italy, I will still make civilization overviews, probably relatively soon for those actually. But for all of the older civilizations, I'm going to stick to the ones that have already been reworked, or the ones that just got reworked in the previous update. Just so that none of my information is outdated. And today we are going to be starting that trend with the Haudenosaunee. Now, Haudenosaunee, they're a relatively simple civ. They are the most European-like of all of the natives. They have a handful of unique mechanics. Some of them are kind of drawbacks, in all honesty. Like the inability to gather from coin mines and having to make tribal marketplaces in order to gather coin, which is a slight annoyance, but overall it doesn't impact their gameplay too much. But yeah, let's just hop into it. Haudenosaunee. So their unique mechanic is that they get travelers, and they get these either from a dance that you can do at the community plaza, which once again, just due to the recent Haudenosaunee rework, I am working on a in-depth analysis video on how worth it that dance is. But they can get travelers from the community plaza. They get one every single time they age upon aging, and they also start with one, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, the travelers, and then their other unique mechanic is that their explorer boosts the HP of all units around him by a 10% exponential growth rate aura. So just all of your units are just 10% tankier, and it scales. So that's really cool. Their general playstyle is either rush or semi-fast fortress. They can boom on the water as well, but in general, across the board, when you're fighting Haudenosaunee, you're going to see some early aggression, usually in Age 2. Their age-up system and hero, so they have counselors, which means there's just like Aztec and Lakota and Inca, where they have 5 different static benefits that get better and better every time you don't age up with them. So you want to save. So some of them you want to save towards the end of the game. Some of them you want to get super early, and all of that jazz. And then their war chief is their hero is the war chief, a very powerful war chief at that. It is the only war chief that has a musket attack and just like a European explorer. In fact, the Haudenosaunee war chief acts like a European explorer plus, where it has all the benefits of a European explorer, but it also has a generic like crackshot attack with area of effects that it can use on normal units, as well as just having more HP and higher stats and having the XP aura. It's literally just a European explorer, but war chiefified, is the best way to put it. Now, as for unique units, they have their own, just like about half of the civs in the game, they have their own completely unique roster of units. In Age 2, they have the Tomahawk, which is on the top left, which is their musketeer type. Then the Aena right below him, which is their crossbow type, and the Kanya Horseman to the right of the Aena, which is their Hussar type. And then once they get to Age 3, they unlock the Forest Prowler and Musket Rider, which is the Skirm and Goon type. And then they also have Rams and Mantlets available in Age 3, which are both on the right side, which are Siege type units. Rams are kind of like Siege Elephants, where they just specialize at destroying buildings and not much else. And then Mantlets don't have the highest DPS, but have insanely high health pools and lots of range resistance. They can soak up fire from enemies from the rest of your units. And then the Light Cannon is their last unique unit. It's the one that's circled in red that's not the Forest Prowler. And it's basically just a cannon. It's a mixture between a Falconet and a Culverin, which is the best mixture. Except it's like even better than Flaming Arrows because it's good. It's a really good cannon. It's got a lot of upgradability potential as well. Just because the Light Cannon can get plus 30% upgrades through cards, as well as -1 population through cards, which is a relatively recent development. And that applies to the mantlets and rams as well. So they got a lot of stat boosting capability to them. Primary unit compositions in Age 2, most of what Haudenosaunee is going to do is Tomahawk and Aena. They're very much so going to really like their crossbow pike, they're like crossbow musketeer unit composition. They might throw in a couple Kanya, they might ship 4, they might train a few here and there, but the Kanya in particular are rather expensive on the wood, so you generally won't see too many Kanya. You'll see a couple for sure, usually the 4 from the shipment, but you won't see too many. Now, like, things to watch out for, X-Factor stuff, Town Destroyer. So Haudenosaunee have an Age 2 card called Town Destroyer that gives their Explorer roughly 240 siege, give or take. This card is by itself capable of just destroying your town center before you even realize what's going on. The Town Destroyer Rush is where the Haudenosaunee will just sacrifice all of his any semblance of economy and just age up rapidly, pretty much like at the minute 30 mark, and send Town Destroyer and start beating up your town center with Town Destroyer while you're still in Age 1 in an attempt to lock you in Age 1. Very nasty rush, very stealthy too, because if you don't know about Town Destroyer, then you might not know that this exists, but it is a thing. Be careful of the Explorer sieging down buildings. Also, yeah, I mentioned this a couple times already, but Haudenosaunee is extremely aggressive and can take off, like, they can take off really fast in Age 2, hit the ground running. So be very aware of early aggression and raids. Keep your hunts very well herded into your town center when you're playing against Haudenosaunee, because you're going to need those hunts next to your town center. Otherwise, they're all going to die. And yeah, this was a pretty short one, honestly. This is a pretty short video. Haudenosaunee are not the most complex civilization in the universe. They're not Aztec or India. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day, and goodbye.